right, I thought I would just hit record on the good old camera and let you watch me do a little of this threading and changing out the needle and whatnot. I haven't gotten to any of the settings yet, so just wound the bobbin, going to change out the foot, put a new needle in. Yeah, test the tension. Also wanted to mention that it is a cleaning day here at MK Quilts. I was just talking to Kate, my cleaning lady, and so if you hear vacuum or anything, or if she comes in and starts talking, she knows I'm working, but of course we like to visit. Sometimes I'm not here when she's cleaning, so it's kind of nice to get to catch up with her. Okay, so here's the first thing that I want to say about just my experience with my own machine. As I pull this through, the tension as it's come directly from the shop or the manufacturer's floor, rather, is it feels actually pretty good. Maybe a little bit tighter, but I will test that when I get to stitching. So pretty nice, all things considered. Now, one thing I am going to mention to the boys is that when I test the little take-up spring, it is a little bit close to the thread sensor. And I'm also going to have them test the angle of the take-up spring itself. I think it might need just a little bit of an adjustment right in that area, just by what I'm seeing. All right, next let's go ahead and thread the needle, or change the needle rather. Again, I'm using the Gross-Beckert FG-SUK needles. And I'm going to go ahead and put in a size 18 for Cindy. That is basically what I use. I use Omni thread. I think she either uses Omni or Glide. So an 18 is what we would want for that. I'm also going to use our handy dandy little needle magnet guide. The other thing I'm doing is I'm looking at her laser light as I'm just seeing. It looks like it's nicely centered, so everything appears to be okay there. Now you may not be able to see what I'm doing close up and personal here with the needle magnet, but you guys, if you don't have this, hop on over to shop.mkquilts.com and get one of these needle magnets. It's a $5 item. We give you two just in case you lose one. And basically it helps you to get your needle in straight. And then I just put it back over here on my frame to keep track of it. All right, before I finish up with my threading, let's go with the initial test on the bobbin. So I'm going to put it in. And I do have tile floors here at my house, so I'm being very careful to do this over the fabric that I have loaded, and just right out of the gate, it seems to me obviously that is too tight. All right, now we always get thread in the machines from Handi Quilter. I don't care for what they use, nothing against them, I just don't favor it. Also, I'm going to be doing some quilting and I've already chosen my thread color, so that seems a little bit better. It's still a smidge tight. So I'm just going to loosen it a little bit, and then obviously when I get to stitching, I will double check it. Now I did load the backing of the charity quilt that I'm going to do, but I added a little bit of extra fabric here on the top so that I can do all of my testing and stitching and whatnot, and then I'll roll it forward and get onto my actual backing fabric. I did not video my loading. Of course, I have all of my loading videos are free videos. You can go ahead and watch those. I will link to those. So I'm going to finish it up here. I'm going to get the Glide Foot 3 onto her machine, finish up with the threading, get some batting and a piece of scrap fabric up here, and we are going to get to stitching.
All right, what you're looking at on the screen here is just screenshots from Cindy's console. I will reiterate that I just did a few screenshots here to let you know what I did on her machine. All of this information is in the new owner video. So this first photo is just the home screen on the console. You can see that right out of the box, it came in manual mode. I switched it over to regulated mode, and then I upped the cruise setting to 250. This is just showing what was assigned to her handlebars. We pretty much just used tie off, but Cindy does have an infinity. And so I did later on change one of her handlebars to be thread cut. Okay, so tie off on one and thread cut on the other. And I tested out her thread cutter. I don't use my thread cutter on McFinity much, but hers was working just great. So I left that handlebar setting that way. This one is to just show that out of the box, her bobbin, the low bobbin alarm was on. Again, we don't use that, so I turned that off, but we do prefer the thread break sensor. So you can see in the second picture, I turned that on. That third setting there on this part of the console is an overspeed alarm. And unless you are free motion quilting and you are going faster than 3,100 stitches per minute, that is never going to alarm, and you're never going to be going that fast in Pro Stitcher ever. So I never have that alarm turned on. Here, you're just seeing that I was checking the number of tie-offs. I think I took it, you can see that it was on 5. I took it down to 4. That is if you're using your machine to do the tie-offs. If you're in Pro Stitcher, you also have the ability to change that tie-off setting there if Pro Stitcher is doing the tie-offs. Think about 4 is what we use in the shop. So that was just a quick overview looking at her settings, trying to match them as close as I could to the settings on McFinity.